Hey everyone, this is Mrs. Keener. These are going to be your notes to start Unit 1, Notes 1. So you're going to want to pause and copy this down. Make sure you can hear me. Make sure your volume is on. So captions are just not good enough. You have to have your volume on. Okay, we're going to go over these as a review. That's why I'm going fast. And you can also pause and rewind. So some definitions. A factor, when I say factor, a lot of kids have no idea what I'm talking about. But a factor is a term, a number or variable that is being multiplied, so not being added or subtracted. A quadratic expression has a degree of 2, means the greatest exponent you see is 2. Like, you guys know what that is? X squared. It will have an x squared in it and nothing bigger than that. And today we're going to do some review of factoring. You should know how to do all of this, but it's still review. So you have to remember that they need to be in the terms need to be oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It needs to be in standard form, which means the terms written in exponent decreasing order. So starting with the highest degree, going to the smaller degree. And if you have a leading negative, then we need to factor out the negative one. Okay, here we go. This should be familiar, but greatest common factor, otherwise known as GCF. Okay, so if we have 12x squared minus 6x squared, like what number goes into 12 and 6? That would be 6. And then there's an x in both of them, but just one x. So we have a 6x. Okay, when we factor out the 6x, we say 6x times what would give us 12x squared. So that's going to be 2x. 6 times 2 is 12. X times x is x squared. Where's a good spot to write this? Always remember, like day one, x times x is x squared, and x plus x is 2x. Okay, we have to know that. All right, now 6x times what is negative 6x? 6x times 1. And there we go, we factored out the greatest common factor. Let's do another one. But, you ready? I was ready to factor out the greatest common factor of 5x, but we have to write it in standard form first, and this is not in the correct order. So we need to rewrite it with the negative 10x squared plus 5x. So the x squared has to go before the x in order. Now, do you see a leading negative? Do you see a negative in the front? So we're going to make sure that we factor out a negative. I told you to factor out a negative 1, but let's just make sure that the greatest common factor is negative. Okay, what goes into 5 and 10? 5, yeah, 10 can't go in, so it has to be 5. And when we take out negative 5x squared, what? Negative 5x times what is negative 10x squared? Negative 5 times 2, x times x. Now we're not going to put plus, because it's not plus 1, it's going to be a minus 1. How do I know? Negative 5x times negative 1, negative times a negative is positive. Okay, how do you know you did these right? We are multiplying them back in our heads. We're checking. Okay, here, is it in standard form? Yes. Is there a leading negative? No. Do 2 and 5 have a common factor? They do not. They're both prime. But is there an x in both terms? Yes. So we're going to factor the x out, and we get that. We're done. How do we know we did it right? We can check it by multiplying back, and we get 2x squared minus 5x. Does it check? Yeah. Here we go. Factoring a difference of two squares. So a difference of two squares, I don't even know, those are my lights. So a difference of two squares is anytime you have two squares that are being subtracted, like a squared minus b squared, we'll factor to a plus b times a minus b. Okay, now we have the first 3 steps of factoring. You ready? Here we go. Step 1, write in standard form. I forget to do this sometimes, you guys, honestly. And then we're going to factor out greatest common factor. And then we'll check to see, check if it's a difference of two squares. We shouldn't, guess what? Rule number 1, never use the word it. Check if difference, we don't use it in math, D-I-F-F-E-R-E-N-C-E, difference of two squares applies. Is it a difference of two squares? Here we go. Step 1, Is this in standard form? Yes, thank goodness. Step 2, is there a greatest common factor? Yes, 2 comes out, and then we get x squared minus 4. Step 3, is this a difference of 2 squares? Do you see a minus sign? Yep, and are both of these perfect squares? Yes, so we're going to factor again, following the formula that we wrote down here. All right, so how do you factor x squared minus 4? X plus 2 times x minus 2, and we're done. Is this in standard form? Nope. We're going to rewrite with the highest power coming first, and then that'll be a plus 2. So write in standard form. Is there a greatest common factor? Just a 2, but remember, don't forget the leading negative. Leading negative. Do we have a negative in front? So what that means is our greatest common factor is a negative 2. Okay. Negative 2 times what is negative 50? Negative 2 times what is negative 50? Okay. Negative 2 times what is positive 2? Negative 2 times what is positive 2? Did we write in standard form? Yes. Greatest common factor? Yes. Is this a difference of 2 squares? Yes, it is. How do we know? Well, I know my perfect squares. The square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 1 is 1. So we have 5x plus 1 and 5x minus 1, and a negative 2 in front. What do you do with that negative 2? You just keep it there. All right, is this in standard form? No. Here we go. Is there a greatest common factor? Yes. Negative, what do we say? Negative 2x, do you think? Okay, negative 2x times 9. And then negative 2x times what is 8x? Negative 2 times negative 4. Okay, this is a trick. Ready? They want you to think it's difference of 2 squares. Is the 9 a perfect square? Yes. Is the 4 a perfect square? Yes. Is this x a perfect square? No. It's not. Perfect square. Because we factored out this x. X times x is x squared, so this is not a perfect square. So how do you know you're done? You're done because there's no difference of 2 squares. This one is in standard form, so greatest common factor is 7. And then do we have a difference of 2 squares? Yes. Square root of 4, square root of 1, 2x plus 1, 2x, oops, minus 1, sorry. Not in standard form, so I'm going to change it. Equals. Greatest common factor will be 15x. Negative 15 times what is negative 60? Negative 15 times 4. And I took out, there was an x in both of these, so I took one out. So I have 4x minus 1, but not a difference of 2 squares because we took one of the x's out. How come you didn't take an x out here? Well, there wasn't an x in both of them. Has to be common. This one's in standard form. Greatest common factor is just a negative 3. We get x squared minus 9. And then, is that a difference of 2 squares? Yep, you could take the square root of each one, and there's a minus sign. So we're done. Okay, let's turn it over. Oh, are you on 2 sides or 1 side? Oh no, I'm wasting time. Here we go. Factoring quadratic expressions with 3 terms. Okay, you ready? I teach this differently, so hang in here, okay? We're going to do guess and check method. So we know that the first 2 terms have to multiply to get 2x squared. So we're going to say it's 2x and x. And then we know that the n2 terms have to get 10. So let's guess 2 times 5. Okay, now we check. Do they add to get, when you multiply them, do they add to get the number 9 in the middle? No. So we're going to try again. What if I switch the 5 and 2? So now I have 2 times 2 is 4x, and 5 times x is 5x. Do those add or subtract to get 9? Yeah, so that's it. They're both negative. Okay, we got lucky. Final answer, 2x minus 5 times x minus 2. How do you know it's right? Well, we foiled it back. We got it right. We foiled it back. Okay, let's do this one. What multiplies to get 6x squared? You could do 6x times x or 3 times 2. What multiplies to get 2? 2 times 1. Okay, let's check. 6 times 1 is 6x. Do these add to get this number in the middle? O plus I. Remember? F, O plus I, L? No, they don't, so that's way wrong. Okay, let's try, if we were to switch them, would that work? 6 times 2 is 12 and 1. Nope. All right, so we need to do 2x times 3x, and then let's try the 2 here and the 1 here. All right, what's 2 times 1? 2, and 2 times 3? 6. Do those add to get the number in the middle? No, and I'm out of room, but I think I'm going to get it on the next try. I'll give you guys more room when I print this. Okay, you ready? Here we go. 2x and 1 times 3x and 2. 2 times 2 is 4. What's 4 take away 3? 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, let's do another one. Guess what? The best way to learn this is to do lots of practice. Front. What goes in the front? Let's try 2x and 2x. Okay, what goes in the back? The last is going to be what multiplies to get 6, negative 6. So let's try 3 and 2. Okay, now we're going to check it. And we need the outer plus the inner to equal negative 5. So the outer is 2 times 2, which is 4x, and the inner is 6x. Can those combine to get negative 5? No. So we need to switch them or pick new numbers. Would switching help? No, because look at, they're both start with 2. So let's pick new numbers. Let's try, instead of 2 times 2 to get 4, what else multiplies to get 4? 4 times 1. Okay, so 4 times 2, let's see, what's 4 times 2? 8. What's 3 times x? 3. Oh, do those add to get 5? Yeah, but we need it to be a negative 5, so we're going to make the bigger number negative and the smaller number positive, like that. We got it on the second try, okay? I make my students do it, how many times? I make them guess, I don't know, I say give me 4 guesses before you ask for help. Let's see here, 5 and 1. Watch, it's going to get faster. 4 and 5. Can that get 12? Nope. What if we switched them? 4 times 5 is 20 and 1. Is that going to give me 12 in the middle? Nope. So I'm going to change the 4 to 2 times 2. And let's try 5 and 1. They're all positive. Let's see. I have good feeling about this. 10 and 2 times 1 is 2. Do those add to get 12? Yep, we're done. This one's not in standard form, so we have to rewrite it. Okay. 3x times x, and then what multiplies to get 6? 2 times 3. Let's do 2 times 3. Okay, what do you think? 2x. Hey, guess what? We got on the first try. Does that ever happen? Yeah, it actually does. It actually happens quite a bit. So this is our answer here. I am going fast. If you feel like, golly gee gosh, she's going fast, I am. So hang in there. What multiplies to get 5x squared? 5x times x. And what multiplies to get 2? Now watch. Do we want the 2 here? 5 times 2 would give us 10. Do we need a 10 to add up to 3? No, so watch, I'm going to put the 2 here. Okay, let's see. 5 times 1 is 5x. 2 times x is 2x. And we want 5 minus 2. We want to get positive 3. 5 minus 2 is 3. So look at that. We did that in our head, and we got it on the first try. So this one would be wrong. and this one would be right. So you want to pause and get the final answer.